Game of Thrones has many amazing villains. We got Cersei Lannister, Tywin Lannister, and who could forget Ramsay Bolton. But the biggest villain of Game of Thrones that no one talks about anymore, no one makes like edits about on TikTok, no one has a poster of them on their wall, is one of my favorite villains of the show, the Night King. Now the Night King alone is still cool. This dude looks like if the devil had frostbite. And in season 4, 5, 6, and 7 of Game of Thrones, he had so much mystery to him. Like, what is his goal? Does he want to just destroy humanity? Does he want to be king? Is he potentially a Targaryen? Does he just want to be loved? Does he want someone to ask him how he's doing? So many questions, and the whole world thought we would get the answers in season 8. And instead of answers, we got this. The disappointment of the Night King's death was immeasurable, to the point where the Night King made a perfect poster boy for a petition to redo all of season 8. People were genuinely like offended with how they killed the Night King. How we didn't get a Night King versus Jon Snow, or how Daenerys and Jon weren't the ones to kill the Night King and end the Long Night threat. Arya just killed the Night King like it was a stealth assassination mission for double XP from Assassin's Creed. And this really cool villain just shatters and the White Walker just spontaneously combust. And the threat is over. And for the next 3 episodes of season 8, the bad guys weren't the scary, cool, mysterious White Walkers who wanted to destroy humanity. The real bad guys of Game of Thrones were far worse. Women. Yeah. Women were the final villains of the world. When did the show get so realistic? But what sucks about the Night King's death was how important he and the White Walkers are to the story. You gotta remember that the first scene in Game of Thrones is all about the White Walkers. They are the most important part of the main event. And the TV show was already building them up from the very start.
In that darkness, the White Walkers came for the first time. They swept through cities and kingdoms, riding their dead horses, hunting with their packs of pale spiders, big as hounds.
And then Jon Snow gets more and more involved with the White Walkers, then Bran gets more involved with the Night King. So yeah, they're a pretty big deal. Now I know a lot of you watching this video have probably read the Game of Thrones books, A Song of Ice and Fire. And this is where we really get to like the answers on why the Night King failed. Why this really cool character was let go so easily. If you read the books, you would know that the Night King doesn't exist in the books. And the Game of Thrones TV show writers David Benioff and D.B. Weiss could have easily made the Night King a perfect character in their own way. They could have created his own identity. Because in the books, there is a character called the Night's King, who died like centuries ago or whatever. And this character is rumored to have fallen in love with the White Walker. I'm not even joking. Men will literally fuck anything. And this character is also rumored to make like sacrifices to the White Walkers, just like we saw in Game of Thrones Season 2 with Craster. So a lot of book readers wanted the Night King to be the Night's King. Because the clues were already there. We just didn't get it. Which sucks because this cool villain does deserve a great backstory like that. House of the Dragon is trying to provide that. I'll about to get to that later on. But I imagine David and Dan wanted to do this, like make the Night's King the Night King. But I imagine they scrapped that storyline once they lost the passion for the TV show after season 6. However, the weird part is, we do actually have the identity of the Night King in Game of Thrones. And it is a pretty good foundation.
It was you. You made the White Walkers.
We were at war. We were being slaughtered. Our sacred trees cut down. We needed to defend ourselves.
From whom?
From you. From men.
That's a pretty good backstory. These jungle people creating the Night King to protect themselves from humanity is a pretty good backstory. I even built off of it in my backstory in my Game of Thrones Season 8 rewrite video I made a few months ago. But the thing that the Game of Thrones TV show did that completely ruined the greatness of the Night King's backstory is that this backstory is simply not enough. This is not enough to be like, yeah, damn, that's a wonderful reason to kill all of humanity. And this backstory just flopped at the end. It's honestly sad because I truly think at this point you can give like any backstory to the Night King and we will love it. If the Night King backstory was like someone pulled his pants down while he was talking to his high school crush, and that's the reason why he wanted to kill the entire world, well screw it, I'll take that backstory any day. If that happened to me, I would probably do the same thing. But luckily for us, we do have House of the Dragon, and House of the Dragon TV show is trying to fix the Game of Thrones ending from time to time. Like, you can clearly tell they're trying to. For example, the poster of House of the Dragon has the blade that killed the Night King in the dragon's eye, which is actually like really goddamn cool. But it's kind of funny how House of the Dragon all leads to Arya killing the Night King, but I'll get to that later on. But we have seen some stuff in House of the Dragon that helps build up the White Walkers. In the finale of season 2, Daemon has a bunch of visions that the White Walkers were in. So I'm happy they're trying to fix the Night King. I really hope they do more. Like with Daemon's visions, it would have been so much cooler if instead of showing this White Walker that looks like a crackhead homeless lady, they instead just showed the Night King at Hardhome or the Night King surviving Dragonfire. I imagine the reason why they didn't do this is because the author George R.R. Martin. I imagine George doesn't like the Night King just because the Night King isn't in the books. And the Night King is pretty symbolic to the failure of the Game of Thrones TV show. And I unfortunately do agree with George. In the books, the White Walkers don't have a leader. They don't follow anyone. And that's what makes them really unique. The whole point of the White Walkers that David and Dan missed out on is that the White Walkers are the opposite of humanity. The White Walkers don't need a crown or money and greed. They don't care about food or getting pussy at the club. The stuff that makes humans fight each other doesn't apply to the White Walkers because they don't care about fighting each other or like eating food and eating ass. That's what makes them such a great threat for humanity, which the Game of Thrones TV show kind of failed to acknowledge. And here's the craziest thing. The Night King doesn't even talk at all. This dude is literally the quiet kid in class looking for a reason not to shoot up the entire school. But in the books, the White Walkers actually like talk to each other and laugh with each other. And there's some really insane stuff. Like if you haven't watched Ultra's video on the White Walkers, I'll put a small little clip right here.
They speak in a language of their own. They laugh, they screech in pain. In the show they show shock and anger. They make things out of ice. So the others are intelligent, with emotion, and maybe culture. They might not be the monsters that they seem. George Martin has said that they're not dead, but a different sort of life. Strange, beautiful, inhuman, elegant, dangerous.
So imagine we got a scene where like the Night King had more emotion. I know that would kind of like take away from like the stoic side of him. Like he got the whole I'm too cool to smile thing going on right now, and I understand it. But during the Long Night episode, when the Night King smiled, I was like, damn, that's some really cool stuff right there. So maybe we shouldn't do a scene where like the Night King is like watching Monday Night Football and laughing. But I think adding more emotion to the White Walkers and giving the Night King just a little bit more to like smile about would do the trick. But the craziest part about what the TV show writers did to this great character is that they made the Night King have no plan. This dude essentially was winging a genocide. He's like, come on man, we don't need a plan to kill the entire world. If you see a human, just kill them. You know what to do. And it's kinda sad to see. The writers made the Night King spend 7 seasons to get past the wall. And then the ball dropped immediately on square one. Like if you're the Night King, taking over Winterfell is like the tutorial mode. You still got like 6 other kingdoms to go. But bro literally failed the tutorial. And it's weird because he just wanted Bran for some reason. Like I love Bran in the books, but I don't think a single human wants Bran in the show. This dude talks like he's always about to tell someone bad news that they have like HIV. But yeah, for some reason the Night King just wants Bran.
He'll come for me. He's tried before, many times with many three-eyed ravens.
Why? What does he want?
Like someone just tell the Night King he can just have Bran. Most of the fanbase doesn't want him either. Take Bran and go back behind the wall for a few centuries and we can all call it even. If that happened, we wouldn't have gotten this ending.
And who has a better story than Bran the Broken?
But the main thing that is wasted potential for the Night King is that he doesn't have to be the bad guy. Believe it or not, he could have actually been like every other character in A Song of Ice and Fire, where the Night King isn't evil just to be evil. That's not how George writes his characters. George openly talks about how he doesn't like pure good versus pure evil wars. He even criticized Lord of the Rings for this, and even the Game of Thrones writers themselves, before season 8, they said that the Night King versus humanity was not supposed to be good versus evil. Again, the YouTuber UltraFlex explained it perfectly.
A War for the Dawn would also be too obvious. George Martin has said that part of the thing he always strives for in his books is not to be predictable. And what could be more predictable than the good guys defeating the evil ice monsters in a big epic battle? Martin has specifically criticized the Lord of the Rings style war between good and evil. He says, "We don't need any more Dark Lords, we don't need any more good guys battling bad guys. The wars in my books are much more morally complex." Showrunner David Benioff has said it's not going to be your classic good versus evil conflict. So the writer of the series and the creators of the show, as well as the series itself, make it clear that this story won't end with a righteous war between good guys and bad guys.
So I'm really hoping the House of the Dragon TV show really does fix the Night King and gives him some sort of like deeper backstory. Like they could make the Night King some sort of like Targaryen bastard, and that's why he was immune to fire. Or they could make the Night King like an ancestor of like old Valyria or something. Or they could make the Night King like President Obama or something. Like there's so much you can do. I mean, at this point I just really hope they fix the ending of Game of Thrones. And yeah, not just that, but fix Arya as well. Because you can easily write that like Arya is Lightbringer, and that's why Arya killed the Night King. That doesn't make sense because if Jon Snow is the prince that was promised, and he basically is in the TV show canon, Arya could be his Lightbringer sword. And Arya and Jon have always been like connected, and arguably Jon kind of saved her life with like Needle and everything.
All the best swords have names, you know.
Sansa can keep her sewing needles. I've got a needle of my own.
But either way, rest in peace to arguably the greatest cinematic failure of all time. Such a cool character just thrown into the dumps in one episode. But yeah, that's it for this video. Like, subscribe, and peace.